Welcome back to our channels, Warriors. We are still growing. If you haven't had that abuelita that makes that bomb nopales with huevo in the morning for breakfast, smash that subscribe button. Go ahead and have them smash it right now. First and foremost, let me give a shout out to the newest patrons. David, Craig, Richard, Shower Shark, Gavino, Fuck Your Chest Paints, Claudia, Priya These Nuts, Roger, Joseph, Ozzy, Greg, Desiree, Samuel, and Ronaldo. If you have not already signed up for that Patreon, make sure you hit that link in the description below. You are definitely missing out. This episode right here, man, it is going to be what happened to the torpedoes, right? The torpedoes. This is going to be a good, interesting episode. Something I haven't necessarily dove into. Imagine that, 9 months later. First, I'm going to have to define what a torpedo is for those that are not privy to the California prison lingo, language, slang. A torpedo for inmates in blue, and I'm going to get to this, is a usually young, doesn't have to be, very driven, very motivated, very dangerous, who puts forethought in carrying out and accomplishing whatever mission or goal he has at hand. Since it is California and it is violent and there are criminal organizations, heavy hitters at the top calling shots, those are the ones carrying it out, the torpedoes. You know, and I was at Centinela State Prison back in the day. Level 4 GP Charlie Yard. And the OG officers would tell me, oh, look at that dude right there. That dude's a fucking torpedo. And you could just tell, right? These Southerners. And again, my stories relate to the Southern Hispanics because down south was Sureños, blacks, others, and whites. All right. At that time. Now you have Northerners down south. They tried to integrate Fresno Bulldogs down south. Fresno Bulldogs said, no, we're not having it. Wow, they're wild, right? And I would look, I was new, and I would see what they were seeing. And I was a combat veteran, so I could see, I hadn't learned how to read people to the degree that I can read people now, but I could definitely tell, for layman's term, that dude's with the business, all right? And for terminology, with the business means there's nothing going to stop that dude from doing what he's going to do, period, right? If that means an attempted murder, 2 inmates with knives stabbing one, they're going to do it. It doesn't matter if there's pepper spray, if there's batons, if there's 40 millimeters. They'll fucking shoot the Mini 14. These dudes will still go at it. How do you think they get shot with a Mini 14? You know, if they shoot a warning shot, right? Warning shots are not required. In case you wanted to know, this is coming from a former lieutenant. Certain areas of the prison will have fucking signs, no warning shots. Inside the culinary, the dining, inside the housing units, because it's all concrete and cement. You know what a 223 bouncing around at a high rate of speed would do? Like pinball up in that motherfucker. Now you guys know what a torpedo is. Now you know what with the business means. What about green, Hector? You've already proven yourself that not everybody is in green is a square. You've actually given a voice for green because nobody has done it thus far. Are there torpedoes? Absolutely 100%. Right? And I'm going to get into the history of blue and green and how things changed over the years from 2006 to 2022. A young torpedo for green can be like same shit, motivated, dedicated, physically fit. If there is 2 inmates stabbing another one, they're going to get in there. They're going to get busy. They're going to stop it, right? We do have procedures now that's more safer. We do it from a distance. Distance equals safety with pepper spray, with grenades that blow up CS gas, that control riot gas. But nevertheless, they have it in their heart to get in the mix. Now, mind you, none of these lack fear. Fear is in all of these individuals. I've heard people say it. And I've heard somebody else say it too, and this is the truth. It's that healthy fear that will keep you alive, right? It's courage. Courage is being afraid and still saddling up on that horse anyways. If there's a staff assault, that little young Torpedo, and again, it doesn't have to be young. Trust me. And this is where I'm going to get at this whole fucking story. They're going to get in the mix, right? You guys know that if blue is putting hands on green, green is going to put hands right back on blue until they're in handcuffs. And case by case, right? We're not going to dive into excessive use of force or do dudes get beat up with handcuffs on, because the consensus is no, you shouldn't be doing that. And if you're new and you're watching this and you're the prison system, don't do that, right? It's not cool. You're going to get in trouble, and it's a bitch move, period. I'm getting chills just saying that. It's like I have to say it. So don't be thinking you're going to do something you're not ready to do. And it doesn't even make sense. So, check this out. Is every inmate in blue a torpedo? No. Is every staff member in green a torpedo? No. Let's say there's 100% blue and 100% green. Maybe 15%. Less than that. Less than 15%. Right? I'm not going to give you an exact number because I don't know. Are willing to get involved, get their hands dirty, and put in work. Period. Ooh, this episode's getting good. What about the rest of the fellas and ladies? Fellas. Well, check it out, man. They have a job to do. We all have a job to do. They're there, but they don't have it in them to get in the mix. Will they have to get in the mix? Yeah, they're going to have to either way. If a riot kicks off within multi-races amongst the inmate population, they know they got to get involved. We know they got to get involved. But do they have the heart to go at it like a fucking torpedo? No. Are they raising their hands? Oh, another thing for green. Cell extractions. When the inmate's in a cell refusing to come out, we got to search their cell. We got to transfer them. They board it up. They didn't get what they wanted. They're sending a message. Torpedo would want to be right there in the front. Be the doorman with a fucking shield. It goes shield guy, baton, handcuffs, leg restraints, and the camera operator. Now everybody has body-worn cameras, so it's all good. I'm going to tell you guys right now, that's a complete backstory. When I first came in, I'm going to be honest with you guys too. The way that the department was set up, was Sacramento was not involved. Headquarters was not involved in the prison's business. They didn't have SOMs yet. They didn't have a computer system where they can spy, control, and observe. They pretty much let every warden, hey, handle your business, handle your prison. I don't want to hear shit. I'm up here in Sacramento, drinking coffee, shopping around, doing whatever the fuck I got to do. The wardens were running it loosely. They were running it like, not with an iron fist. Like, hey man, handle your business. Keep it quiet. Don't get us in trouble. Kind of those type of instructions. Would they give us orders to carry out certain missions? Green. Yeah, they would. They would. They wouldn't flat out say it. They would just say, hey, that dude right there, bring me that guy. And it's kind of however they worded it, however they winked at you, however there's an emphasis at like, oh yeah, that dude definitely needs to be brought to the sergeant, right? And he's going to get there. He's going to get there. But you guys are tracking. You guys are tracking what I'm saying. Over the years, bunch of lawsuits where it went from one drastic to the other. And then the supervisors and managers would would do the same thing. Hey, bring me that dude over there, right? And you would bring it to him in whatever condition you brought him to him in. And then it would go all south, and then they would throw you under the bus. They would sacrifice you and say, oh, no, I never said that. What the hell? That guy acted all on his own. That guy's rogue, right? And I watched this period. This was a weird period because it took a while for people to grasp. It took me a while for me to grasp what was happening. They get amnesia. Managers started to get amnesia. Oh, I didn't say that. No, I didn't. The warden of Mule Creek is notorious for this. When he was having us drag inmates from ADSEG to AR because he wanted to look good and get confirmed. And they were non-designated, former SNY getting thrown in a general population yard. So once we catch on, your boy starts documenting everything. Oh, okay, this is what you asked me to do, right? In an email. Oh, no. And then they don't reply, right? They never put their shit in writing. So they're shady. It's sketchy. They try to play the game. They try to have the torpedoes do their bidding and then throw them under the bus when they went south at their order. Well, if you don't know any better and you're newer, you're going to do whatever a captain tells you, an AW, a sergeant, because they're your supervisor. Right? I'll be honest. I didn't know the policy, the book early on in my career. Like, your boy wasn't sitting there flipping through the fucking Title 15 or DOM. Right? I had my neck on the swivel, my head on the swivel, looking around, making see who's who, what's what. And then it went completely far, right? Now we're in the Norway project. You got baristas getting their neck cranked. So what happened to the torpedoes? Well, they're fucking tired, right? They're tired. They're leaving. They're resigning. They're retiring. Again, it's not that we want to break the rules, but when you have higher-ups telling you to break the rules, and then you break them, and then you get in trouble, and then they say, oh, I never said that, that fucking puts a bad taste in your mouth, right? Well, should you know better? Like I said, yeah, you probably should know better, but when you're young, impressionable, and new to a prison system, you're going to follow in fucking instructions. Now, what about Blue, Hector? You going to dive in? I'll dive in a little bit. Renegade Media. That dude is putting out 100% facts information. Period. Facts, man. Every time I hear a story or I watch the video, I can already know. I put two and two together. I was watching this happen years ago. I was having conversations with these individuals that got tired of putting in work for the higher ups of the Blue organizations because the same shit happened. Back in the day, they were in the shoe. They were locked down for 30 fucking years in a box. It was very mythical. You get a little kite and it says, hey man, send this motherfucker to Brazil. Hey, here's a driver's license. You can fucking start collecting on my behalf. You can start running shit. Just imagine what that does to a young little soldier. You fucking feel the power. You feel enthralled. You feel like you made it, right? You're making it. And again, an inmate's criminal career, and they've told me before, and this is how you go, man. You start in a criminal gang, you go to jail, you go to prison, you graduate to ADSEG, the shoe, and then if you made it to Pelican Bay, you fucking made it, right? You made it. Send a postcard to your mom, not a happy card. A happy card is when you put dope on there, right, and you iron it with a fucking plancha. You put some heroin underneath a little stamp or whatever. You could burn it and then smoke it or inject it. Well, those heavy hitters were untouchable at that time because they were behind walls. They were in a box. And that in itself is a whole nother story, right? How they were able to, those that did, make it through without mentally breaking. They should do a whole research fucking therapy on that, to be honest. And then you start seeing the game change, right? Because they used to be, from what I've gathered, carnalismo, brotherhood, I protect you, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. What do they say? Make a homie, don't break a homie. And I could see it, man. You don't have to have worn blue or green. You can be in the military. And leadership is leadership. right? And poor leadership is poor leadership. And boy, did it leave a bad fucking taste in these young little soldier torpedoes' mouth, man. When the light switch went off, right? Just like the light switch went off on greens, realized like, what the fuck am I doing? What are we doing here, right? And the whole game changed. So if I started in 06, the heavy hitters were still in the Bay, and Corcoran and Sacramento didn't have their hands in every warden. Things were a certain way for a certain time. I never served in the 90s, right, as a CO or prison guard, but like imagine those wild, wild west fucking days. Calapat, Salinas Valley, High Desert. Oh my God, right? Why do you think there's so many S&Y inmates now? Why do you... I personally didn't get in trouble at work, right? I didn't leave my job on bad terms. I strictly walked away, right? Why do you think there's so many inmates in blue that didn't have in their career bad paperwork, bad... They simply were soldiers following fucking instructions, and they got caught up in the politics. Period. Luckily for them, they got action, right? Luckily for them, I mean, yeah, they inflicted damage, violence on humans. They gotta make amends to those individuals. They gotta make amends to themselves. They gotta forgive themselves, and they gotta forgive those individuals and the victims that they hurt in order to grow. Trust me. So this whole episode started torpedoes, right? Because I told you guys about how there was a CO that gave me a thumbs down when I got you Donovan as a sergeant. He's an older man. He's an older man. But he has the heart and mind of a fucking youngster. And I noticed that then, right? I didn't get upset when he gave me a thumbs down. I saw the whole picture, right? The whole picture was he was trying to prove a point, but I told him to improvise, overcome, and adapt. So I wasn't mad. I'm not mad at the guy, but we became very, very close friends. Very close friends, coworkers, buddies. He was formerly in the Army. This guy is the definition of a torpedo up in his age, right? Still hanging on. I always felt safe when the dude was on the yard. I always felt at ease. I sent him a text yesterday. He texted me. I texted him back. I said, hey, dude, like I felt like I could just post up, chill, because I knew you were going to handle it. He wasn't reckless. He wasn't dumb. He's extremely smart, right? He had previously deployed to Somalia and saw combat. I had previously deployed to Iraq and saw combat. I think we both had been to Bosnia, so we started talking about Bosnia stories. And every time we worked together, we could relate. It's one of those type of dudes you could have a conversation with without saying a word. And that's what this episode is about, because he's like, hey, man, I was waiting for you to tell our story. And I'm like, oh, man, timing's everything, dude. Like, everything will come out in the, like, more shall be revealed. But he's still on the job, you know, and it would be nice to say some good things about him prior to if and when he retires, because he is the last of a dying breed. Most people with that much time in the department want to kick their feet up, go on first watch, and not know or participate in anything. This guy was on Delta Yard when I was there, schooling every single youngster coming in the right way. The right way. Not the wrong way. The right way. He ended up beating to Alpha Yard. You know, I got a little like, damn, motherfucker, bitch to Alpha Yard. Motherfucker, jump ship on me. But Alpha Yard needed that at that time. Because you had all the Charlie Yard inmate rejects, the ones that are causing havoc, fucking chiropractic the barista's necks, getting kicked out, getting overridden, overrides, good behavior overrides, mind you, and the EOP buildings in building 1 and 2. So Alpha Yard started to become a cesspool. So he's like, all right, hey, my services are needed over there. he goes over there, starts schooling the young kids. And I know this because I would respond from Delta Yard when I would hear little incidents and go, and that dude would be right there in the mix. When I was an alarm response instructor, and I would instruct the staff members, I would tell them, hey, you don't have to be a sergeant or a lieutenant to call shots around this motherfucker, man. I told them, if I'm a sergeant and I show up on scene and an officer is calling the line and doing what he has to do, I was always thinking about him when I would say that. I said, I'm not gonna interrupt. I'm not gonna step in and intervene. Why? Because I got stripes and I want to prove something? No, the dude's handling it. He's handling it. Fucking better for me. I can step back, look at the whole picture, see who needs medical, see what's what, who's who, right? That is the last of a dying breed, man. The last of a dying breed. So you guys are wondering what's going to happen to the California Department of Corrections. It's not good, man. It's not good because people whose heart were in it on either side of the fence, their heart is no longer in it. The department has absolutely fucking destroyed morale. Not only destroyed morale, I'll say it again, they become unethical, right? Corrupt. So, shout out to him, man. Good dude, solid dude. Fucking from the day one that I met him to now, what a great career, man. Where you can look back and you can say, hey, I gave it my all. And he did, and he has, right? Would we have bad days? Yeah, but he never fucking faltered. He never fell. And we've been in some shit together. We've been in some shit together, man. It's like every time shit was kicking off, we'd be right there in the mix. So I'll leave you guys at food for thought. Just gather like, hey, how the department once was, what happened, and where it is now, man. It's wow, it's wild, right? The message for today, man, is follow your heart. Follow your heart, right? My heart told me to leave the department. My heart told me I can help more outside with this freedom. And it's the truth. I didn't walk away from the department and walk away into the oblivion. Here we go. My buddy's heart told him, school all these youngsters, because he knows the repercussions if you don't. With that, keep pushing forward.